Genie's true origins. Persepolis, circa 500 BCE. Genie was not born a genie in the modern cartoon sense. She began life as Zara Anahita, a young woman of the royal court of Darius I, the great king of the Achaemenid Empire. She was the daughter of a high-ranking magus, a Zoroastrian priest-astrologer, who served in the inner circle of Persepolis. From childhood, Zara showed an uncanny talent. She could speak to fire without being burned, calm storm clouds before they broke, and, most dangerously, hear the unspoken thoughts of those around her when she looked directly into their eyes. Her father called it the gift of the bright ones. The court priests called it dangerous. At 16, she caught the eye of Queen Atossa herself. Instead of being married off, she was quietly taken into the women's quarters of the Apollona Palace and trained in secret arts, part courtier, part oracle, part something the priests feared to name. She learned to read cuneiform star charts, to blend rare resins into incense that could summon visions, and most crucially, to bind her will to the eternal flame that burned in the heart of the empire. The binding. During a time of rebellion in the eastern satrapies, the great king demanded a miracle to prove Ahura Mazda still favored him. The priests devised a ritual. They would pour the essence of a living oracle into a vessel of sacred cedar and lapis, creating a living talisman that could be carried into battle, a portable source of divine favor. Zara Anahita was chosen. She did not volunteer. She was not asked. The ritual took 3 days and 3 nights in a sealed chamber beneath the palace of 100 columns. When it was finished, Zara's mortal body was gone. What remained was folded, compressed, and sealed inside a rose gold and alabaster bottle no larger than a man's forearm. The priests named the new being Anahita Zara, the pure gift of Anahita. But she would later shorten it to something easier on human tongues, Genie. The bottle was meant to be carried by the king's most trusted general. Instead, a jealous high priest stole it the night before it was to be presented, fearing its power would eclipse his own. He hid it beneath the floor of an unfinished audience hall. When Persepolis was sacked by Alexander's army in 330 BCE, the bottle was buried under fallen marble and cedar ash for centuries. The long wait. Genie did not sleep. She was awake inside the bottle, aware, bored, lonely, and increasingly angry. Time passed differently for her. Decades felt like lazy afternoons, centuries like long, sultry evenings. She listened to the world above her change: Greek, Parthian, Sassanid, Arab, Mongol, Safavid, Qajar. She heard languages shift, empires rise and collapse, caravans pass overhead, and eventually the scrape of 20th century shovels during an archaeological dig in the 1930s. A French archaeologist unearthed the bottle in 1938. He opened it in a moment of private curiosity and vanished in a column of rose-pink smoke. Genie stepped out for the first time in over 2 millennia, stretched, blinked at the electric lights, and decided she liked the color pink. She spent the next 25 years wandering, first Iran, then Europe, then America, taking lovers, learning slang, tasting Coca-Cola, watching movies, and generally enjoying the chaos of the modern age. She never granted wishes unless she felt like it. She never stayed anywhere long. Until 1965. A NASA capsule recovery team fishing a strange object out of the Pacific found an old, barnacle-crusted bottle among the debris. When Major Anthony Nelson opened it on the deck of the carrier, pink smoke poured out, and a very cheerful, very curious, very ancient Persian woman in harem pants blinked up at him and said, "Finally. I was beginning to think mortals had forgotten how to open things."